Ever thought about going all in on Bitcoin? Like really all in?
It's a pretty wild thought, right?
Totally. But that's what we're diving into today. We're checking out this guy, James Rhen, calls himself the Bitcoin advisor. He actually moved his whole family to a Bitcoin standard.
Yeah, I saw that. Pretty extreme, right?
We're talking no bank accounts, no stocks, just Bitcoin. He's got this article and a whole YouTube video about it. It's not just about like dabbling in crypto. It's a whole different way of thinking about money.
Definitely. He's pushing this idea of Bitcoin as like the ultimate asset, the apex asset, he calls it. And what's interesting is it's not even just about the money for him. It's about this whole decentralized system, taking control from the traditional financial institutions and all that.
Yeah, that whole self-custody thing is huge for him. Holding your own Bitcoin keys, no middleman. He's really big on that.
Which makes sense given what we know about Bitcoin being decentralized.
Totally. But then he goes on to criticize something that a lot of people consider a safe bet. Real estate. You know that old saying, real estate is always a good investment.
Right, like it's written in stone or something.
He's like, hold on a minute. High maintenance, property taxes, the risks of leverage if you're using it, all those things eat into your returns.
And let's not forget, real estate isn't exactly liquid.
Right, you can't just instantly cash out when you need to.
Exactly.
So it's not as simple as everyone thinks. Okay, so if real estate isn't the answer, what about the stock market? Because James seems way more into Bitcoin's potential for growth, especially over the long term.
He definitely sees it as the better bet, and it all comes back to that limited supply. Only
Yeah.
21 million Bitcoins will ever exist.
Right, unlike our fiat currency, which, as James points out, governments can just print more of whenever they want.
Leading to inflation, of course.
Exactly. So with Bitcoin, it's all about that scarcity. The more people want it, the higher the price could go, at least in theory.
Exactly. And unlike companies, Bitcoin isn't reliant on profits or a CEO.
It's just pure market demand.
Exactly.
Okay, I get that. But let's be real, we have to talk about the volatility. Bitcoin is famous for those wild price swings.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
James even talks about how much of an emotional roller coaster it's been for him.
And I think that's something a lot of people in the crypto space can relate to. It can be a wild ride.
But he also says if you're in it for the long haul, those short-term ups and downs matter less than the fundamentals. He's really emphasizing that long-term vision, not day trading.
Right, it's about the bigger picture. So
Yeah.
zooming out like that, where does James see this all going?
Well, he actually predicts that eventually everyone will own Bitcoin.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement.
It is. It kind of makes you think, though, right? Like, what if he's right? What role would we each play in that kind of future?
That's the big question, isn't it? Whether you agree with his prediction or not, it's a powerful thought experiment. It makes you really examine your relationship with money, with technology, with the future we're all building.
It really does.
Hmm.
So to wrap things up, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've looked at Bitcoin as this apex asset, this idea of self-custody, even challenged some traditional ideas about investing. James Rhen definitely gives us a lot to think about when it comes to the future of finance.
He does. It's definitely got the wheels turning.
It has.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one thing that really stood out to you from our deep dive today, what would it be?
Honestly, I think it's that focus on self-custody. No matter how you feel about Bitcoin, taking control of your assets, really understanding how they work, that's powerful.
It is. It's been a fascinating look at the world of Bitcoin and the potential it holds. But as we wrap up, I'm left wondering, if James's vision of the future does come true, will we be ready? Something to think about.